Is in the way. That is in the way. Oh, this is super broken. Oh well. Hey, thanks, Metalhead. Good job on your beer alp. It was awesome. That was your first time up the Alp? And doing a beer alp at the same time? It's pretty epic. It's a good ride, though. Drinking beer, riding up mountains. Gotta get some fan action going here. Starting to get warm. It seems like a really good route until you get to the end. And it's all uphill. Going to bang off the rest of these route badges. Oh man, I've been 2016 October, somewhere around there was my first Zwift ride, but I never really rode a ton. Like, I just used it in the winter, and it wasn't till pretty much around 2019 that I started taking winter training seriously. And then COVID hit, so that's all we did was ride indoors. Feel like I've been left behind a little bit with the new leveling experience. You can level up so much faster. Yeah, I love it. I used to stop riding pretty much, October, and I wouldn't ride from October till April. So I think actually I do more riding in the winter now than I do in the summer. Well, it gives you just enough to be distracted. It's like, I'm a gamer. I mean, it doesn't mean much in the real world that I have unfinished routes, but I'm thinking, gotta finish all those routes. Can't have them unchecked. I always try to avoid, though, the hilly routes. Doing those ones last. Yeah, well, that's the way they changed the leveling. You can level so fast now. It used to be years, like level 60 was the cap. I was riding Zwift since 2016, and I was like level 57 when they changed the rules. Like, I hit level 50 cap just before they changed it from 50 to 60. Well, previous to the changes, you needed about 30,000 XP to level when you're in between 50 and 60. It's a lot of kilometers. Yeah. So you had to ride 1,500 kilometers to get a level back before they switched it. Which there's some dudes that are doing that on a monthly basis. For me in the winter, that's, a month and a half. So you gotta think you could get a level every month and a half. So if you're only riding in the winter, I would only get 2.5 levels every winter. So I'd move from 50 to 52.5. Then the next winter is like 52.5 to 55. And I'd already done all the routes and oh, I got a long way to go. Some days, this just does not go as fast as you'd hope. Draft van. I don't need a draft van. There's no one around here to draft. Actually, this lower section, it's pretty flat. So I'm going pretty fast for racking up the kilometers. It's just once the hill starts. I think the hill climb section is going to be half an hour at least. Oh, yes. Yes, break. That is welcomed. First set done. Wondering when that was going to happen. The heart rate is creeping up there. Play 4 more sets of those. Currently following a training plan, so it's quite difficult to... This Zwift, with everyone else around, breeds this feeling that you need to go hard all the time. Like, oh, look at that dude. He's passing me. Can't let him pass me. So I'm doing an ERG workout. Oh, look at that big group. Oh my goodness. It's a lot of draft. Morning, villager. So it's kind of just hard to chill. And it's tough to just be like zone 1, zone 2ing. But you gotta follow the plan. We got 40 more seconds of super easy and then back to the next endurance set. Started going to the gym as well as part of the training. I haven't been to the gym in 15 years, 16 years. So that was a little intimidating. But everyone that rides has been like, you need to start going to the gym. You need to start lifting. You're going to see big gains on the bike. So we will see. We will see how that goes. It's been fun though. Kind of enjoyed mixing it up. I haven't been streaming much. Most of these rides I've been doing have been pretty boring. I'm going to swap to the checkpoint. What I was actually waiting for was virtual shifting, because I have a Shimano cassette on the trainer and the checkpoint is SRAM. I've actually had the checkpoint on the trainer, but the shifting is like off just a little bit. But when there's virtual shifting, it'll just be find a gear that's quiet and then virtual shift. So I was hoping the V5 was going to get it this week. But it snowed here today. So, well, the Venge has to come off the trainer so I can sell it. Yeah, I'm going... Yeah, it's actually snowing right now. And raining, snowing. I was gonna go shovel the driveway after this, but it's kind of rain snowing, so it's gonna do the job for me. Yes, my new bike is in the bike stand. You can see it, sort of. There's the front wheel. It's been in the bike stand for a month. I rode it outside once, and I did a bike fit on the trainer with it once. I needed to swap some parts though. I had like Easton carbon gravel bars on my old bike that I wanted to put on the checkpoint, so I spent a couple weekends moving things around, changing the seat, changing the bars. Weather's been crappy, so I haven't really been in a huge hurry. But my old cross bike, that's got to go. So I was getting that all ready to sell. And once the Venge comes off the trainer, I can start swapping back some parts that I want to keep from the Venge. And then the Venge can get put up for sale. Just waiting on the wheels as well for the checkpoint. It currently has the stock wheels, and the new ones are out of stock until apparently mid-March. Well, it came with the Bontrager 3V carbon wheels, but since this bike is going to be doing dual duty road and gravel, I ordered a set of the Bontrager 49V. They're like a 50 mil. It's kind of funny, they're deep aero wheels and they're wide as hell, but they're a gravel slash road wheel. Because I do ride some road events. I sort of have a buddy at the local Trek dealer here, which is funny because the local Trek dealer here is very much a mountain bike shop. Like, it's the mountain bike shop in town. So when you walk in and you're like, I want a gravel bike, I want wheels, I want all the accessories, they're like, what? What's going on here? I had a difficult time though I am very much a Specialized fanboy. I Specialized shoes, Specialized helmet, bike. Shoes fit me perfect. Their helmet sizing fits my head perfect. Got a Venge, love the Venge. But when I was looking at a new bike, when I had the idea of going to sort of a one bike to rule them all, I had a very specific list. And the checkpoint checked every single box. I really was thinking of a Diverge, but the Diverge missed it on a few boxes. I feel bad though. Like, I have such a good relationship with the guys at the Specialized dealer. Like, I buy 99% of my stuff there. And it was mentally challenging to, I felt like I was cheating. I'm a very loyal customer. And seriously, going to the other shop to buy this bike, it was just like, holy crap. It's like, this bike is badass. Well, it checks, I guess you would call it, I mean, there's sort of gravel, and I always, every bike Specialized comes out with, and you're just like, yo, look at that bike. It's freaking awesome. And so I just kind of grew into that, where I'm just like, but this bike here, like, there seems to be sort of some subsets of gravel now. And this bike, the checkpoint, is more of like the fast gravel, kind of like the Cervelo Aspero fast gravel, where it's closer to road bike geometry, but it can just fit big ass tires. Yeah, well, that's what I thought. I was just like, man, well, even the new Roubaix, if the Roubaix had more tire clearance, I would have been all over that. Well, carbon has come such a long way. It's great. Even in just the last 10 years. This bike is unforgiving. This is like crit bike. You push the pedals down, it goes, but there is no give anywhere. No, last year, I've been thinking about doing the whole one bike thing for quite a while. And last year, I rode this bike. The Venge hasn't been off the trainer. Well, it's been on one road ride in 2 years, 2.5 years. Since COVID, it got put on the trainer and then never came on. It came off once. So it's just, I started riding my cross bike, and I have fenders on the cross bike, and I commute a lot, and I was getting to work. I was having fun. I can rip down a trail, jump off curbs, like go where your road bike can't really go. And I was getting to work 3 to 5 minutes slower on the cross bike. But I was having a ton of fun. It's super comfortable. And then I'm thinking and then I did all my road events last year on the cross bike with 38s. And yeah, it's slower, but my road events are fondos. It's all about riding with a buddy and chit-chatting. My cross bike, though, it is quite a bit upright. Like you're sitting more upright, but after all of last year, I just thought, do I need 2 bikes to do this? I mean, I would like, if I have aero wheels, I would swap tires. Like if I had a road event coming up, I'd put some 32 GP5000s on it. And that would speed things up. But I mean, they're making gravel tires that don't roll much slower than pure road tires. I'd show you these. Picked up. I was waiting for the new wheels to put them on. And I don't know if you can see these. Focus. Schwalbe G1 RS races. Right, yeah, well these are 40s. 40s. And they, on the Bicycle Rolling Resistance website, they are only like 5 or 6 watts slower than 32 GP5000s. So at that point, would you even need to swap? Probably not. Well, that's the funny thing, Peter, is the tread's not gone in 3 rides. I have buddies that are on 6+ months on these tires, and they look still pretty damn good. I mean, we have logging roads around here. I'm not doing mountain bike single track. We will see. I could be back in 2 months saying that they're the worst. The worst. But all of my buddies that are riding them love them. Yeah. Oh, there was a few days last summer, Peter, that I actually wondered with I had Specialized Pathfinders. It was like, are these tires just melting? Like the air temperature was in the low 40s. The pavement had to have been high 50s. Like you couldn't. My Garmin kind of picks up the radiant heat. And when I was on the pavement, it was giving me some ridiculous numbers. Well, and also being bigger. I do notice when I was commuting with bags and me being fat that the rear tire did have about a third the life expectancy of the front tire. All right. Here we go. The start of the climb. What are we? We're past the halfway point. Oh, the sun just came out. Got super bright. Oh, it's going to take me half an hour to get up this hill at this pace. Yeah, that's Brian. I think Brian's racing at 10. I was hoping to be done this route by then. I think so. Well, I texted him and asked him. He was supposed to do an outside ride today, but the outside ride got canceled due to flooding, he said. He says his race starts at 10:20. So it's the broadcast, I guess. The broadcast starts at 10. Oh, break time. Rest interval. Yeah. Well, it's funny, Twitch, they'll get, in the hundreds of viewers on YouTube. For 90% of the population still doesn't even know what Twitch actually is. But everyone knows what YouTube is. Yeah, I don't like, well, you can get sort of the video quality really awesome on YouTube, but I find the viewer experience to be interacting with a live broadcast is worse on YouTube. I don't know. I'm in a weird, like, as much as I would like to see growth in my channel and streaming, I almost prefer it like this. You go into some of these streams where they have 1,000 people and the streamer is not interacting with anybody because they're playing a video game. And I'm like, why is that even like, I mean, I guess if it's a competition, but I mean, most of the time these streamers are not competing. It's like us going to watch BK or someone race, like you're watching the race. But I much prefer being able to talk back and forth with the viewers. If I only have 4, then so be it. I mean, ZCL isn't really a, interactive type stream. Yeah, like the chat scrolling like this, and you. Dimitri. Been a long time since heard that horn. Morning, how's it going? We got snow today, Dimitri. We got flippin' snow. March 2nd. It's really sunny right now, though, so I think it's trying to melt the snow. It was kind of raining earlier, and then it started getting sunny. So now that you've said that, it's totally going to rain. You can't make plans to ride outside. That is pretty crazy, Dimitri. That is a lot of outdoor riding. So you make plans that on Monday you're going to do a really long Zwift ride. And then you're like, psych! And then you run outside with your bike. Exactly what happens. So even though you're doing an ERG workout, when you look and see that you're going uphill, I feel like my brain readjusts and pedaling seems harder. Like my heart rate started going up for no real reason when I saw that it was 7%. Yeah. Who's starting all these fires? I just want to ride my bike. Yeah. Well, it's like they've learned their lesson here. They've organized almost all the gravel rides and fondos to end by June. And there's no official fondos in July and August because they all got canceled last year due to potential forest fire. First gravel fondo is in 7 weeks. I got 7 more weeks. We're gonna crush it. Yeah, I need more garbage can fires. My average wattage so far. That's it? Oh, that's not good. I'm using YouTube Music, and I happened upon a playlist called like lo-fi. It's like 7 hours long, and I just have it on repeat. I'll send you the link. Yeah, it's called Lo-Fi Synthwave Chillwave Playlist. There's where is it? 651 tracks. 7+ hours. It's just if I'm doing a workout, I might like something more, well, like a real workout or a race. I want something more upbeat, but in general, I was just looking for background music with a little bit of Harris Heller has a bunch of good playlists that are basically royalty free. Well, that's the other thing. This playlist is pretty much stream safe. But I don't record the music with the stream anymore. So it's usually just zip sound. Oh.
Slow Spoon rated with 5 viewers.
Morning. Yeah, he's got a whole... Harris Heller has an entire gigantic catalog of...
Let's give a
like,
big shout out to
royalty-free
Slow
music.
Spoon. Make sure to check them out at https://twitch.tv/slowspoon.
Yeah, I enjoy this mix, but a lot of the songs are not royalty free. So if you choose to have the music play on your stream, you'll get a whole bunch of mute going on. But I've stopped recording the music track for my VODs, except there was a glitch. I had stopped, and then I noticed there was music playing on my last stream. I think I fixed it, because all the proper boxes were checked. Ugh. 51 minutes left in the workout. This is a slow going, getting to the top of this hill. Look at the map here. How far? Oh boy. Holy crap. I'm like not even a third of the way up this hill. Yikes. I might be still climbing this when the workout ends. Pretty close. Pretty close to the end of this set. A few more ups and downs. All right, heading up to the village. Next right turn, heading through the castle gates. Oh, need to stop looking at the map. Someone did this 19 minutes. Yikes. Hey Brad, how's it going? You doing any of that Zwift Games stuff? It came on really fast. I had plans of maybe doing it, and then it was just like, oh, it's on. It's happening right now. Yeah, the Zwift Games. There's prize money. You can win the gold Tron bike. And a gold Wahoo kicker bike. Kicker bike does look pretty badass. Well, kind of like that they shorten these things up. Yeah, I think only the elites get the awesome prizes. Like, I feel that Tour de Zwift and all those tour of everything that Zwift puts on is too long. It's too damn long. It kind of ruins the need or the excitement to have to get them done when you have a full week plus a makeup week to do them. Like, it should be 3-4 days max. I mean, even with the week, I never complete it, but okay. This section, you're going pretty fast. So this section is getting done. Oh, now we're going back uphill. How much time Oh, close. Couple more minutes and I get a break. Couple more minutes. Heart rate is climbing a little too high. This weather and temperature is just weird. It's cold ass in the garage, but I'm sweating. And if I turn the fan on, it's -5 wind chill, but I need the fan to blow some of this sweat away or evaporate it. Drinking hot coffee probably is not the best fueling beverage for an endurance ride. Probably sweating more because of the coffee than the actual riding. There we go. Rest break. Rest interval. Oh, the sun went away. It's not going to melt the snow. I'm going to have to go shovel. What is this crazy March 2nd snow? This is the West Coast. Oh, I do have to say, this pace feels good. Like after riding, like if you do 75 minutes of zone 1, you'll get off the bike, your legs will feel good, you'll feel like you've actually ridden, but you won't be crushed. And you'll be like, yeah, I feel good. It's just very hard to do. Like, I want to turn ERG off so bad and just start giving her up this hill just to get it over with. It'd be so easy. It's right there. I can just push the pause button. Just push it. But that wouldn't be part of the training plan. I'd be wrecking things, and this is what the robot AI told me to do today. Come on. Rest break is almost over, and I need to get my heart rate below 140. Breathe. Breathe. Oh, is this the Alp that Frack gets the Tron bike? Well, just do it in ERG mode, and then you won't even notice. Oh man, that is close. That is close. I totally didn't know about the Tron bike when I started Zwifting way back in the day. And I had already done something like 47,000 meters of climbing before I found out you needed to do the Everest challenge. Took me forever. I was so close if I had just started right off the bat. Yeah, so if you're doing zone 1 and you're going to have to go up the Alp, that's going to be a long ride. Yeah, I try to get everyone to make sure anyone new that starts, I'm like, are you on the Everest challenge? Did you do the Everest challenge? And then they're like, what's challenges? I'm like, make sure. The challenges are still in the stupidest spot ever. Should be on the main screen. Challenges, events, routes, workouts. Like, they're like, so okay, you got to go into the game, then you got to exit the game like you're finishing your ride, and then you can pick a challenge. Well, yeah, and that challenge is biased towards skinny people. You know what? If I weighed 160 pounds, I'd ride the Alp all the time. Like, if I could bang off 1 hour Alps doing like zone 2, I'd be doing that all the time. No, I'm fat, and doing zone 2 up the Alp is going to take me 2 hours. So it's like, there's zero reason that I want to go up the Alp. I got the wheels. Don't need to go up there anymore. Yeah, exactly. If you had 400 watts on tap. I was watching a YouTube video of this guy trying to match Lance Armstrong's Alpe d'Huez time. And Lance Armstrong averaged 495 watts for 36 minutes. Like, I don't even care if you're on drugs. Like, that is an unbelievable amount of power coming from a little guy. That's what people don't realize too, is like a lot of times you see these guys on TV, they're not big dudes. They're tiny. Like, some of them are tall, but they're tall and 150 pounds. Like Peter Sagan in peak form is like 170 pounds. And they're like, oh, he's too heavy. Oh, we're getting there. We're getting towards the radio tower. Yeah, I guess I should be doing that for just the 25 badge. That's after I get every other badge. Then I'll deal with the Alp. Bullet fall.
Bullet fall rated with 8 viewers.
I must be the only person zwifting. Everyone's funneling into my direction.
Let's give a big shout out to Bullet Fall. Make sure to check them out at https://twitch.tv/bulletfall.
Love you too, man. Thanks. Oh, I'm like the clip. Did it stop? It's glitching. Glitching. It's going for a really long time. There we go. Everyone, check out Bullet Fall. Well, my first gravel event is in 7 weeks. So I've been pretty strict at following the plan. So I feel like in 7 weeks I should be very well prepared. Yeah, it's basically more about consistency.
Tony Dead is now following.
Thanks for the follow. Just consistency. Consistency is just as good as riding. You know, if you ride 4 days a week and then take 2 weeks off, you may as well just ride 1 or 2 days a week, but never stop. Never stop. Yeah, I signed up. My goal for 2024 was I signed up for every official gravel fondo on the island. Now, my first one is end of April, and it pretty much is every 2 weeks. It's like end of April, beginning of May, end of May, beginning of June, then it takes a break for the summer, and then end of September. I think it was 5 in total. Yes, we do have the Trans-Canada Trail, but it starts and stops a lot. It's totally not continuous. There's one section near my house. If you follow it, it stops at the river, and then it starts again on the other side of the river, but there's no way to get over the river. And there's a sign that's like, we were going to build a bridge in 2012 to continue the Trans-Canada Trail. And I'm like, it's 2024. The bridge is 12 years late. But yeah, the Trans-Canada Trail is 5 minutes out my door. There is, though, some gnarly sections. It goes up some mountain bike only sections. For the most part, it's nice. There's some paved paths, but yeah, this extension ridge section is hardcore. I rode my cross bike on it once just to see if I could do it, and I had mechanical disc brakes, and by the time I finished the trail, my hands were locked like this from pulling the brakes so much. Butt's getting sore, butt's getting sore. Trainer doesn't rock enough. Almost out of coffee. Ride better end soon. Uh-oh. Heart rate. Getting into the 160s. Isn't good. Meditate. This is totally zone 2. It's peeking into zone 3 though. But my FTP in Zwift is off. Because my zone 2 stops at around 216 watts. And these intervals are going into 230. But I should probably change that. After doing that ramp test, Zwift set my FTP way too high compared to every other program. So each one of these little peaks is actually about 30 seconds of zone 2, or zone 3. It's 2 minutes up, 1 minute down, 2 minutes up, 1 minute down. Well, I don't enjoy. Ramp tests suck. But I appreciate the simplicity of a ramp test. It's just, I only ride slow in Zwift. So when I do a ramp test in Zwift, Zwift goes, holy shit, you're pushing it. And Zwift always overestimates my FTP after a ramp test by 16, 17 watts. I'm almost there, Peter. Almost there. And I gotta do the radio tower. Like intervals and Xert are always within 2, 3, 4 watts of each other. And then Zwift is like, your FTP is 320. I'm like, no, it's like 290. Because I'm feeding the ramp test info into both intervals and Xert. So they're all getting the same info. 376! That's crazy. I would say intervals is probably closer. I don't know. I've used Xert so long and I've done enough testing that I know what Xert says is realistic. Well, I've done that in the past where I've been within 1 or 2 watts of what Xert says is my FTP. Oh, yes, I got a feather. Sweet. Yeah, I think the last time I did a full send up the Alp, my 1 hour average was 289, and Xert had me at 291. So I'm going to say that's probably pretty accurate. Save this feather for when it hits 15%. Well, and that's it. 98% of my riding is this in Zwift. So I'm not really giving Zwift, proper data to estimate my numbers. Ah, rest interval at the worst possible timing. Okay, I gotta skip this back. Not a freaking chance. Never gonna make it up this radio tower doing 140 watts. "12 kilometers. Got like 20 minutes to do this." Should I wait till the turn to use the feather, or just blow it now? Like as soon as I turn that corner, then I'll be like climbing monster. All these guys won't know what hit them. Four kilometers an hour. I think in real life I'd probably fall over. Go Buffalo Bike. Let's get up this hill. See you, Boss Water. This is a good route. It's really flat, and then it goes uphill, and then it goes back down the hill. So it's not bad. I hadn't done this route yet, so I tried to pick a workout that would take me about as long to do it. And honestly, the epic KOM, not a bad climb. Taking a little longer than I would expect, only because I'm doing an ERG workout. Actually, it's taken me longer to get up the radio tower than the whole freaking climb. Yeah, like, I would agree with that statement. Epic KOM feels like a hill I would do in real life. Oh, there we go. Oh, I hit the easy again. Too soon. I keep having to rewind the workout. There's not a chance I'm going to make it to the top doing 140 watts. Oh, I see the top. We're almost there. Yeah. Should probably give my whoosh another shot. When they first came out, I think I rode 5 kilometers. But I just watch everyone else riding in my whoosh, and I just see wonky ass draft. But I'm doing this, so draft shouldn't even bother me. I'm just doing workouts. But the graphics and the world looks very pretty. Oh, I'm riding in slow motion here. Let's just get to the top. Come on, we can do this. Like, it doesn't even look like anything is freaking moving. Tower and that hut are the exact same size they've been for 10 minutes. Oh, there. Oh my gosh. Again. How many times do I have to hit reverse? This is the part that's slowing down the entire ride. I thought for sure I could do 50K in 2 hours with ERG workout. This hill is crushing all my hopes and dreams. Almost, yeah. Well, the rest of this ride will go super fast because it's all downhill except for that one little climb, I think, into the jungle. Actually, or maybe I already did that. Maybe it's just going to the starting pen. Yeah, that's about it. Yes. Like this is like the only real climb in the game, like in this route. The rest is like downhill jungle, tiny bit of uphill, flat along the shore, epic KOM, downhill. If you just stay in the jungle all the time. You never leave. Let's go, Buffalo Bike with disc. Let's see that speed. Look at that. 97 and not even trying. 98. Like a really, really long tunnel. Oh, the Zwift games? There's people who haven't submitted weigh-in videos. They're getting booted. Well, yeah, I didn't even actually realize the requirements. The Canadian Nationals, you could submit your weigh-in video within 2 hours after the race. You had a 2-hour window before and after to submit. Oh, bad Zwift. Bad Zwift. Almost done this route. Almost done. I was hoping to level before finishing the route. I thought I would have gotten enough XP. The route will definitely level me. No, the stripper stuff is totally not reusable. I heard them say the same thing. It's black. So the error in their ways is what that stripper stuff is doing is it's basically acting like a sponge. And it's bonding with the grease to hold the grease into its suspension. So once it's basically saturated, it can't hold any more grease. That's why they say on the label 1 ounce per new chain, because 1 ounce is what it takes to pull all the grease. So no, it's not really, but you use very little of it. Yeah, well the problem is, so it contradicts themselves because they say use 1 ounce per chain, but then submerge the chain. You ain't submerging a chain in 1 ounce at all. I think I used 3 ounces, 2, but the thing is though, it's expensive, but even if you use 3 ounces, yeah, you can do 3 chains. You're not going to be doing chain stripping for 4 years. So that super expensive bottle is going to last you a decade. Unless you go into the chain stripping business. Well, and then now they've come out with their whole like chip strip thing. So you don't even need the stripper stuff. That stripper stuff does work amazing. I do have to give it a glowing review. I was blown away at how little effort it took. I spent the entire weekend going from like methyl hydrate, alcohol, shaking, methyl hydrate, like 48 hours, ultrasonic cleaner. Put the frickin' chain in a jar, shook it for 10 minutes, clean. Yeah, I actually put the wax in the ultrasonic cleaner. And I waxed the chain in there, but their waxing pot, that's reasonably priced for a Silka branded, tool. $140. I might buy it. They have single use. Well, especially if you wax, I usually wax 3 chains, and then I just cycle them with the quick blinks. And then every 4 or 5 months, you just do another wax dip. Takes 15 minutes, and then you start the cycle over again. I mean, you can replace a wax chain faster than you can clean and re-grease the chain on the bike. So as soon as your chain starts to get kind of noisy, I just swap on a fresh waxed one. See, where the Silka waxer, though, has got it, is you need, apparently, that strip chip thing needs a certain temperature to create the chemical reaction. So that's where the Silka chain waxer, I might actually just buy it for my next round of waxing because it also just looks cool. It's one of those tools you could have sit on your workbench and you look at it and be like, yeah. Well, Silka has a whole new kick-ass chain waxing system that is far beyond easier than anything else in the world for waxing chains. The main problem with waxing is you need to get the factory chain completely stripped of grease. Like, no grease. It's just got to be bare metal, even in the rollers. And that's a pain in the ass. Yeah, Silca. S-I-L-C-A. Silca makes really expensive stuff, but I have not had any issue with anything expensive that they've made. It's all been high quality, good stuff. Yeah, basically soak your chains in gasoline for a weekend. Yeah, like when I bought the checkpoint, I bought 2 extra SRAM red chains, and then I cleaned and waxed all 3 of them. One thing I've noticed right off the bat, though, is the SRAM drivetrain is light years quieter than the Shimano drivetrain on my road bike. Yeah, that stuff. I use molten speed because when I first started chain waxing, I didn't know how much wax, so I bought 2 pounds of it, and that was like 6 years ago, and I still have like an unopened bag of molten speed wax. Yeah, you know what, Carlo? I was super anti all leveled. Did I complete the... No, I haven't even completed the route yet. Oh, there we go. I was super anti-SRAM for the longest time. Every bike that I had SRAM, it just sucked. Like, it didn't feel as quality as the equivalent Shimano. Like, fit, finish, touch, feel. And so when I was looking for a new bike, I was like, there's no way I'm getting SRAM. But Shimano has kind of fallen behind on things. You almost can't even get a bike with Shimano anymore. So my new bike is SRAM Force. I mean, I don't have a ton of experience. Feels pretty freaking awesome. The drivetrain with the wax chain is near silent. My Shimano drivetrain, I've spent months fiddling with the DI2 adjustment, and it's always just clickety-clacking constantly. Oh, let's go to 51K since we're kind of going downhill. Route badge done. We're gonna go over, say hi to Brian, because he's racing in the Zwift games starting in, I think, like 10 minutes. Yeah, SRAM Force, it's been awesome. Like, it's been awesome so far. I love it. And I thought I would never, ever say that. Like, when I went for a ride outside, and I'm just like, kept looking down like, geez, can't hear anything. Like, what is going on? Oh, the Varia, man. Okay, the Varia radar. It is the one thing you think is the biggest freaking gimmick. And if you don't own one, you're like, dude, radar? So dumb. It's expensive. It is the single, probably greatest bike thing of all time. Love it. Riding down the street and having your head unit go beep, there's a car behind you. It is faultless. It never not works. You ride, like when we go for bike rides on the country roads out in the back, I'm like riding down the middle of the lane and then it's like beep, pull over. Back in the, like, it's like 200 plus meters, like 400 meters or something. Like it warns you like 300 meters, like before a car gets near you. Like it'll beep and you look back and you're like, I got 20 seconds before the car gets to me. No, a car will never. It's like having freaking radar. It's radar. There's actually a super cool Connect IQ app you can get for the radar. You upload your fit file to a website and it'll tell you how many cars passed you. It'll tell you the speed cars passed you. So I have a buddy that he's got cameras front and rear, and we had a car buzz us at 100K an hour, like mirror. So we had video footage. We submitted radar information saying the car passed us at 98K an hour in like a 70 zone. And we had like video, radar, file data. It was awesome. So like the Garmin Connect app, what it'll actually do is it'll tell you the difference in your speed. So if a car is approaching you and you're doing 30K an hour and the car is doing 50, it'll say like plus 20 on the screen. So you can kind of brace yourself knowing that the car is either barely passing you or it's flying. All right, let's go see BK before the race starts. Thanks everyone for stopping by. Appreciate everyone making that workout go way quicker. I'm going to go raid Mr. Kellison while he is doing the Zwift games.